All right, so what is this in Spanish? Height advantage?
Porcentaje de alto.
Ventaja de
How much are they?
height. How do you say height?
Alto.
No, like.
Avantaje
Tall.
Altura.
How
Ventaja
much
de
is
altura.
the
Ventaja de altura.
Probably when I
I know, I almost remember when I was Spanish too. I put a Q
Um,
that was nice.
Did they get the point right? No, it's not worth it.
Yeah. I didn't even touch it yet.
Yeah, just if they have the right answers.
Alright, so it's okay if they didn't really shade it right.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna have one right here.
Okay, the triangles in these examples are not right triangles, so we can't, like this one, is not a right triangle.
Divide it.
Yeah, we will. We'll divide it into two right triangles, but we cannot use sine and cosine until we do make them right triangles. Okay, so that's what we'll do first. Divide this into two right triangles like they did right here. Okay.
Oh.
We're going to use 22 and 45 degrees to write and evaluate an expression for the height. Okay, so right here, there's the height. Y'all agree that's the height of the triangle?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to use 45 degrees and 22 and h. What would we use? Sine, cosine? Sine.
For 45 degrees, and then put the 22 at the front of it.
Okay, but we're going to have sine of 45 equals h over
Oh, over
20
Yeah, H
over 22, because that would be opposite over hypotenuse.
And then you do 22 times.
Right.
Why
Sine
is it H
45.
instead of O?
Oh, because we're finding the height, and I just used that h that they
Yeah,
gave
That
us
confuses me.
for
I just
height.
put the O. Hey, Tim, can you get me one? Oh, yeah, that probably
15.6 or 15.
Thank you. 15.5 or 6? Or,
15.56.
okay, we'll go with 15.6. How about that? Today we're going to do tens, just to be different. 15.6 would be the height, right? Y'all agree? Okay. Now we want to find the area of the triangle. We have the height, which is 15.6, and what's the base?
24.6.
Okay. So base times height divided by 2 is 24.6 times 15.6 divided by 2.
191.9.
Okay. And it didn't give us any units, does it?
Can you just do feet?
Well, we'll just leave it. You can put square units if you want.
So like if it's on a test and there's like no units, do we need to put
You
square
don't have
units?
to put
or
any
something?
units. Nope. Mm-mm. If it doesn't give you units, you don't have to put units, okay?
Oh, you're tripping.
This one is all of them except for this.
No.
And there were two others.
Just don't put it right on there.
Oh.
Okay, use 18 and 60 degrees to write and evaluate an expression for the height. So we're going to go to the other triangle and see if we get the same answer for the height that we did using this
Do you
triangle.
still use sine?
Do we? And we're going to do
Yes.
h over 18. So yes, sine of 60 degrees would equal h over 18, or opposite over hypotenuse.
18, 9, 60.
18 sine of 60.
Is 15.59.
It's the same point. Bless you.
Bless you. It was, this one was 15.56, wasn't it? So they're not exact, but they are close enough. They're both around the 15.6.
Weird. It should be.
Well, it's because it should be the same, but it's because sine and cosine are still, sine is still being rounded in the calculator. Here we go on. The decimals they give you for like sine of 60 keeps going. It doesn't stop there. So there's still some rounding going on, and that's why these are still just estimates. They're very close estimates, but they're not exact. Okay. Okay, we're going to use this value to estimate the area of the triangle. So it will be exactly the same, won't it? 24.6 times 15.6 divided by 2, 191.9. And then the question is, do these answers from these pairs of items match up?
Yes.
Okay, this process can be repeated regardless of the size of the triangle. So it doesn't matter how big, doesn't matter what these numbers are. Doesn't matter how big it is. Okay. We're gonna find that the same thing with this triangle without any numbers, just letters. Okay, so we're gonna use B, this one right here, and angle A to write an expression for the height.
Sine of A equals O.
No, let's do H. You got to use these letters. H over B.
And multiply by B.
Okay, so B sine A equals H. So we have an expression for the height now. We're going to use this expression to write a formula for the area of the triangle. Now, how do you find the area of the triangle?
Base times height divided by 2.
So we're going to use
C.
1/2 base times height. Okay, is that right? Okay. So 1/2 times, what's the base?
C or C.
C. What's the height?
B.
B sine.
B sine of A. Okay. Right, and then I'm going to write it with usually when these are written together like C and B, you go in alphabetical order. So we're going to have 1/2 B C sine A. Okay, that's a formula. Okay, if you have side B and side C and angle A, you can find the area. Okay, and side C is always across from big C. Little b is always across from big B. Little a is always across from big A.
Wow.
That's how they set them up. Okay, that's just how they determine them. And it didn't have to be A. It could be Q, and this would be little q over here. Okay, the little letter goes with the side. The big letter goes with the angle, and they're always opposite for each other. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing, only we're going to use A and angle B this time. So here's A, and here's angle B. What would we write for that one?
Sine of angle B
Equals,
H over A.
okay, equals the opposite over the hypotenuse, H over A,
Which becomes A times
sine
sine
B,
equals H.
okay?
1/2 AC.
Okay, she's put AC, why?
Without
Alphabetical
Order, okay, so A times this C here times
B.
sine B.
big B.
Okay, can you come up with a third formula? Just by looking at these two?
1/2
Sine B.
AB sine C.
There you go, very good.
Oh.
We hadn't used sine C, we used sine A and sine B, so we put sine C here, and then the other ones are the other two letters.
Interesting.
All right, we're going to use these in a little bit, but not quite yet. We're going to look at something else first. Okay, in this triangle, measure of angle A equals 50 degrees, and the measure of angle B equals 63, and B equals 6 units. So that's the 6 right here. This is little b right here, across from big B. Okay. What other side or angle can you get directly from here?
Angle
Angle
C.
C.
Okay, so 180 minus 50 minus 63,
67.
because they all have to add up to 180. So we can find that angle. That'd be 67 degrees. Okay, then it says draw the perpendicular height from point C down to AB. So we'll just draw a straight vertical line. Label its length H. And use the sine of angle A to find H. So how would we do that?
So sine of 50. The sine of 50 equals 1/2 H over 6.
But we're just
Oh,
doing,
yeah,
we're just doing
H over
sine of
6.
50 equals H over 6. Just find an H right now.
And then be 6 sine 50.
Is everybody okay with this?
Mhm.
Sine 50 degrees
Four.
equals h.
4.6.
Okay. Are we good? Questions? Speak up if you got them. Okay. Next, use h and the sine of angle B to find. Now we can find a because we know what h is. What's h?
4.6.
Okay, so how could we use angle B and 4.6 and a?
4.6 over 8.
63.
Well, let's start with what?
Sine of 63
Sine of 63,
equal 4.6 over 8.
4.6 over a. Good.
And switch.
Do you remember how to do those? Yeah.
Switch.
These switch places. Okay, so a equals 4.6 over sine of 63.
5.39.
I wrote 5.2.
When do you use the negative tangent?
When you're finding the angle,
Oh, that's right.
I got 5.2
5.2.
or 5.16. Okay. Let's use 5.2.
Why did
Okay.
you do H over
Because we did the sine of 63 and that's the opposite
Oh.
over the adjacent, over the hypotenuse. Okay. We wanted to find A, so that's why we did that one. Okay, what measures are left to be found?
C.
C, and is that it?
Year.
In the area, yeah. Okay. How could you find C?
Grade school. No, it's just not.
Does the negative? No.
No, because that's not an angle. C's
Can
not
I
an
use
angle.
little
Pythagorean
c?
theorem
I was
for
looking
both
at the big
sides.
C.
Okay.
And from
Yeah.
You do Pythagorean theorem like here and get this part.
That's,
Okay.
and then
And then do Pythagorean theorem here and get this part
or you could do
and
the,
add them together. Okay.
or you could do the
like the sine, the cosine.
Cosine or the tangent.
Uh-huh. You could do
Tangent of
tangent of 50 equals 4.6 over this.
Uh-huh.
Yep, that's several different ways to do it. We're not going to do them. Okay. We're going to save some time here. We're going to talk about how to do them, but we want to do them. Okay, now this triangle's a little different. They give you two sides and only one angle. This one had two angles in one side. Can you determine anything just from right here?
No, because it's not a 90 degree.
Okay, it's not a right triangle, so we can't get T, can we? Okay. And we don't have enough angles to figure out what the other angles
You
are.
can get T because we can do.
No.
We can get part of T.
It's not a right triangle.
Dang.
We can
We
get
can
part of T.
split it.
Yeah, we can split it and do it.
Well, could
But
we
that's
get
not a
Pythagorean
dir-
theorem
It wanted to know if you
on
do something
T?
directly though, right? And we can't do anything directly.
We can get the angles if we split them.
Not
That's not
directly.
directly. Okay,
Just kidding.
we can get everything if we split it, right?
Yep.
Okay, use sine of angle R to find H. And H is the height. So sine of 75 equals what?
Page 16.
So H equals 16 sine of 75. And what'd you get?
15.5.
Okay. So this is 15. Does that make sense? Could it be 15.5?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Always check and see if your number makes sense in your problem. So that way you're checking yourself. Okay. Next, use H to find the measure of angle K. Now this, Macy, we get to use the inverse sign because we're finding angle K. So you want to use sine, cosine, tangent, what?
Let's use sine.
Sine.
To do opposite and hypotenuse.
Okay. Sine of K would equal the opposite, which is 15.5. Right. Over the hypotenuse. Okay, so how do you do this?
Second
Sine.
sine 15.5 divided by 23.
Which is 42.1 degrees.
42.1? Is that what y'all said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is 42.1 degrees.
No, you can just find, subtract one.
To get the other angle, yes, we sure could. And to get t, though, we're gonna have to do what we would have done over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Either Pythagorean theorem or use your trig functions. Okay, now, purpose of this is to show you that you don't have to divide these in half. There's another law that we can find to use to find these sides, and we don't have to do all of this work. Okay, the shorter way to do it. Okay, we're going to get it from here. These do not have any numbers, just letters. We're going to use B and angle A to write an expression for the height. So what would that be?
Wouldn't it
How much?
be sine A?
Yeah. It'd be sine of A equals H over B, so H would equal
B sine A.
B sine A. Did I go too fast? Are we okay with that? Y'all are being quiet. Are we okay? Okay. Then we're going to do the same thing, find H using this angle. Same thing, sine of B equals H over what? A. So H would equal
A sine B.
A sine B. Now we have H equal to two different things, so that means that we could put these equal to each other. Y'all agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So B sine A equals A sine B. And then it says to divide both sides by AB to reveal a special formula. So we're going to divide both sides by AB. Now, what does that do?
Six with A.
8 sine
Okay.
equals sine.
Well, this
Sine.
cancels out, right? The B's cancel. And over here,
A.
the A's cancel.
So sine A.
Sine of A over little a equals
Sine of B over B.
little b. And we could add a third one,
Sine of C.
sine of C over
Little c.
little c. So this is a really neat formula.
No, wouldn't they be different? No, it's looking for H. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's like
You would have to divide it different. You would do it this way. Okay. Okay. This is just a proportion. Is all it is.
I love proportion.
Okay, and they're saying that the sine of the angle over the side opposite from it equals the sine of any other angle over the side opposite from it. Okay, and we're going to use this to solve some problems.
This is a lot easier.
I'm so
It is
surprised
gonna
I
be a
still
lot
remember
easier.
some of
Remember
those. Yes, I still remember.
Will this work for everything or?
Like, yeah, her.
For any triangle, it will work for any triangle. It doesn't have to be a right triangle, any one.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
The right triangles do not have the power anymore.
Thank God.
Oh my gosh, LED. I was thinking about it yesterday.
So if it's not a right triangle, you know right away that you might be able to use this formula, okay? Just depends on what they give you, but. Okay, notice they wrote the formula a little different, didn't they?
Yeah.
They wrote it upside down. Either way, they're equal. I like it better like this, with A on the top.
Is it the same thing?
It is the same thing. I think though, when you're trying to find, well, it's the same
Why
thing.
the hell is it?
Because it's all proportion.
Because whether you multiply sine of B and A on the top, it still equals.
Like-
Wouldn't you cross multiply?
Right, you would like take these two, you could cross multiply
Okay,
them.
Get one off.
You're gonna have A
Okay,
sine
Miss
B
Walton.
equals B sine A.
Okay, Miss Walton.
Oh, it makes me so mad. Okay, I thought it had a short in it. Okay, it's been doing that. All right, so if you take this one off, and you cross multiply them, you get A sine B equals B sine A. That's what we started with.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then down here, you would get A sine B equals B sine A. So same thing. Okay. Okay, let's skip the area and go straight to the law. This is called the law of sines. The sine A over A equals sine B over C. B equals sine C over C.
Where are those?
Oh, that's the law of sines. Okay. We're going to look at number 3. Okay. If we have 4 of these, or 3 out of the 4, then we can find the 4th one. We've got an angle B, right? And across from it is, so we have those 2, and then we have an angle C. So we have 1, 2, 3 of the things. Okay? So we can write sine of B over little b would equal the sine of C over little c.
Sine of 79.
So the sine of 79
Equals
over
sine of
10.4.
40 equals C.
over C. Now how do you
You should cross multiply.
cross multiply?
Then solve for C.
Okay, so we'd have, when you cross multiply, we'd have C sine of 79 equals 10.4 sine of 40. Agree? Okay, and then divide by, when we get C by itself, so what are we dividing by?
Sine of 79.
Okay.
6.8.
Okay, then you just plug that 10.4 sine of 40 divided by sine of 79 in your calculator. And I guess you've already done it, but 10.4 sine of 40 divided by sine of 79. 6.8. C equals 6.8. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If this was 10, that could definitely. Okay.
And that's the little C, right?
That's the little c.
Now
Yes.
we need to find
That's the
A.
length of this side right here.
You can't find A.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. No,
But you don't have
Yes, you
to.
can.
Little a or a big A?
Big A.
Either.
You can find both.
Both. What would big A be?
You just subtract.
You just
It's
subtract.
61.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And then you could use law of sines to get this one.
A square plus B square.
No, you can't do
No.
that. Why can't you do a squared
Because
plus?
it's
Right.
not right angle.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Gotta
Because it's
use
a
it.
wrong
You
triangle.
have to use law of sines again.
Oh.
Okay. But we don't have to find that. We only had to find length C. So let's go to this one.
Oh, okay.
We're going to find the measure of angle A. Any ideas here?
Yes.
Sine of
it'd be
A over
sin- it'd be
22.4.
sin B over
B and B.
Okay. Sine of B over
B.
little b. And by the way, we don't have to write this every time. Okay. I'm just writing it right now to show you what the formula is. And then
Sine of A over
Uh-huh. over little a.
And so it would be sine of 97 over 30.8 equals sine of A over 22. Oh man, this is gonna be
Okay, now it's not. Hold on.
Are we gonna use the inverse stuff for this one? Okay.
Why do you have to use the inverse stuff?
Because you're finding an angle.
Anytime you find an angle, you have to use inverse sign or cosine or whatever it is you're doing. Did you cross multiply?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you divide by 30.
You could just multiply both sides by 22.4. That works also. And then you don't have to divide. You've already got it
Oh, yeah.
like that.
Wait, what?
Let's multiply. I want to get A by itself, so I multiply both sides by 22.4 to get rid of the 22.4.
Want me to take over? See how much I remember?
So then would you do the
Yeah, man.
negative sign of the answer?
Yes.
And then 46.2?
Degrees.
Do you do second sign?
Excuse me.
Wait, 22.4.
The only thing is, you want to
46.
use a lot of decimals when you're doing this.
I just
I
put it
got
into the
46.
answer.
You
like
can do
the
that,
second
too.
Answer.
You can do that.
I got quit when I did it.
You got what?
Quit.
You
There's
did.
error.
Got that.
Go to
What did you do? What did you do
I did what you did.
just now?
2.4.
Doubt that.
I
No, you did the negative sign.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which you can do the negative sign. We can do that. Second sign.
Oh, I did 22.4.
She multiplied.
Oh, okay. You wouldn't want to do the whole thing. You can do that too. Did you get 46.2?
Yep. Exactly what I got.
Questions? Macy?
Sorry.
You have a question?
No.
All right, let's look at the next one. This time I'm not going to write the formula. I'm just going to write what we need to use.
I don't understand why I'm not doing it.
You're not getting it? Well, you can just go ahead and do this part and then do the
That's what I did.
inverse of the answer.
I understand why I'm not doing it.
Okay. What's the measure of angle B here?
35.
How'd you get that?
180 minus 145.
Okay. Now it says use law of sines to find A. Where is A?
Opposite of big A.
Opposite of big A. Good. So let's just go ahead and plug in numbers. Sine of
70 equals over A.
sine of
Over A equals.
sine of 35 over you can do
3.1.
you can do it while you're doing it, Tim.
Over 3.1.
Equals
Sine of 70 over.
yes. Well, this one I would cross multiply because the A's on the bottom. That will bring the A to the top. So A sine of 35 equals 3.1 sine of 70. And then divide
Divided by sine of
35. I mean, put 3.1, I put 31 point. There we go.
5.09.
Well, I got 2.913. I got 5.1
I got 5.
on the top. Oh wait.
And then I got 5.22.
Whoa, I did something wrong.
Plugging in wrong? Or
No, okay. I have A sine 35 equals 2.913.
3? Oh, I would do it all at once.
A.
Right.
Can you use
Oh,
sine
you
of
skipped
B
number
again?
5.
Mm-hmm. What?
No, didn't.
I forgot you were dressed up.
What, Dusty? Did I do something wrong?
Did we skip number 5? No, it's 35.
No, it's 35. I just didn't write it down.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I wrote.
You wrote that one in
I
number
wrote all
5.
my
I'm
words
sorry.
in number 5.
Got you
I think
messed
that
up.
they're supposed to be the same, but it didn't go.
They're not supposed to be
But
the
they were
same.
close enough.
Is what's supposed to be the same?
The side
The
lines.
sides.
They're not supposed to be the same because one.
Because the
is
angles
7.
are different. Now these are pretty close. These should be close, but they're not going to be exactly the same
Okay.
because the angles are close.
Yeah.
What did you get?
5.2.
Yeah. I got
Mhm.
5.1.
Well,
You
I
did?
got 5.1
On the bottom?
first one.
Yeah. I got 5.2.
I got 5.2 on the bottom and 5.1 on the top.
Let me see. 3.1 sine of 75. That's because the sine of 75 and the sine of 70 aren't much different. I got 5.2. What did you use? Did you use B, angle B, or angle A?
Me?
Yeah, because you said you got 5.1.
On the
That's what I
first,
got too.
no.
Oh, on the first
On
one.
the first
Okay.
one.
I
was
got
talking
you.
about the number 6.
We were talking about different ones.
Yeah.
I got you.
I
Okay.
was like,
I got 5.2
All right.
on this.
Don't let this problem oh wait, we gotta go up here and do these. And don't let that other problem freak you out, okay? This just says find the area. So we're not using the law of sines, we're using the area formulas.
Oh.
Okay, and we have angle A. So which one are we going to use?
The
The
bottom one.
last
Bottom one. So we're going to have 1/2
5
times
times 4.
B, which would be 5, times C, which is 4,
And then times sine of A.
times sine of 36.
Wait. Oh yeah, I did that.
So 10 sine of 36.
20. Oh, yeah.
What is that?
It is 5.88.
5.9.
I did,
5.9.
I divided by 2 at the end and I got the same.
Okay. It, you know, they're always going to be a little bit off because it's really, the whole thing are estimates. Because when you do the sine of an angle, you don't get the exact thing anyway. Okay. How about this one?
You use the sign of B.
Sine of B. So 1/2 times 26 times 19 times the sine of 103.
240.
Will they eventually have like everything labeled for us except and then tell us to find the area using a certain equation? Or would it not?
No, they're probably going to throw something up there and say, find the area. You got to figure out how to do it. Which equation you use.
Yeah, what I noticed is like with that, whatever
240.
angle it is, it's the ones like connecting off of it.
Very good.
Which
Did
other
you,
angle?
did you hear what Kristen said?
That's cool. Nifty.
Notice that the angle is sandwiched in between the sides, right?
Mhm.
That's true for all of these areas. All right? Yep. Angle C is between A and B, and angle B is between A and C, and angle A is between B and C. Okay, so if you see a problem with an angle and the sides are given next to it, okay, you know the lengths of each side, you can find the area. What did y'all get for the area of this one?
240.7.
Okay, so that makes this next problem a lot easier
Holy.
because if you look at, they want you to find the area of this whole thing. Now, if you look at just this triangle on the left, you've got 52 degrees and you know the length of the sides that are surrounding it. Okay, this, right? This is 118
Oh, okay, this makes a whole lot more sense now.
and that's 105 feet. So how do you find the area of this, just this
Oh,
one
you
triangle?
just do
Sine
sine of
52
52
times 0.5
times-
times 100,000 118.
That's
Okay.
that's a big number.
1/2 times
48,
118 times 105 times
7.
sine of 52, right?
That is a freaking.
Are y'all okay with that?
Wait, why do you do sine of 52?
Because it's right here, just 52 degrees.
So you're just gonna do that for all the sides and then just add it all up.
Right, because you can use this area formula when the angle is between the sides that you have the lengths of. So 52 is between 118 and 105. So you just multiply all this together.
Holy crap.
Anybody get it?
4881.7.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
4881.7.
Let's just do 4882.
Yep.
Make it simpler. So you gotta do
Simple,
4 of
so
these.
we-
And then the next one would be
even
1/2
bigger.
118 times 130 times the sine of 58.
64.5.
You see where we're getting them from though? Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
did y'all want to, it's time to go? Okay. All right, y'all are, yeah, y'all are to finish these up. We're on 10, 11. Well, we're on activity, so.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, it's so
I'm sorry, I thought y'all could go earlier, Macy, but, sorry.
Chris, let's just see if we can go.
You're doing very nice, whatever.
Oh, when she was talking to you, she said,
Wait, is it time for everyone to go or just one?
We were supposed to be, she might post that because we want to have fun Friday and she was trying to be.
Does anyone have time?
I bet I'll be this.
Well, I mean,
What time's call time?
it's just you can look at the time. I don't think.
Bye, y'all. See ya next.
come on, shit.
Is that right?
Yes. It is.
Oh, not the point one on the end, that's not supposed to be there.
Okay.
I
It doesn't
ran
matter.
into the nearest end. Electric.
I heard that on the radio last night.